We start with team news first of all. Dominic, Calvert, Lewin and Nathan Patterson, what's the latest on the extent of their injuries and will they be in the squad?
They won't be fit.
How big a blow is that to you?
Well, we haven't had Dom for probably 2/3 of my time here, so we've still won games, still got points on the board, and still performed. So that's the key to that one. And Pato's come in the side more laterally, done very well, but we lose him as well.
What about Mikolenko? Is he fit to come?
Yeah, he's a bit better, so we'll see how he reacts tomorrow to training today.
And certainly with Mikolenko and Nathan Patterson in mind, obviously the injury to Seamus Coleman, Vinagre as well, that causes a problem for you at fullback. I'm thinking in general terms that obviously impacts preparations greatly for you.
Yeah, but I've become used to that, since I got here, there was an imbalance in the squad, everyone knows that, and it's just unfortunate it's been tested to the limit by injuries, but that's part and parcel of the game. And
you kind of touched on it there as well. The positive, not a positive that Dominic is out, but the positive lately in terms of the results that you've had, you've not been over-reliant, you've not been reliant on Dominic's goals.
No, and I think when he got injured the first game, we realised that wasn't going to be, a 10-day injury. So we knew we'd have to find a way of working without that, and we have found that way. It's going to be important we do that again, obviously, in a very important game.
How would you sum up the magnitude of this game?
I think all games are important, of course, but, it stands to reason with it being the last game and what's on it, then of course it's a massive game. But I don't really need to emphasise that. I think everyone knows it. I certainly know it, the players know it, the fans know it. So I think we go into it open-minded to what it is. That's the challenge of being a footballer.
What's it like living that situation as well when you know what's ahead of you like that?
I think it's probably different in the sense I came in here and realised, things need a lot of work, a lot of change. So, I wasn't expecting it to just be an easy run. And for the players, a lot of these players were here last season in a similar sort of position. So, I think they're aware of it. And I think the club have probably become aware of it, certainly over the last couple of seasons. It comes down to getting a big performance out of a game on Sunday.
Finally, for me then, what will be your message to the players? What will be your message to the fans as well?
My messages have been consistent, I think. Consistent to the players about delivery of performance, working with them all week. They're in good spirits, they're in a good shape, good physical shape, good mental prep. And to the fans, same thing. They've been terrific. I've never questioned the fans here. They've been terrific since I got here. They've been terrific, probably before me. But their affection for the club, their desire for the club to do well is there, and the team's got to respond to that and give something back, and that's what we're looking to do.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Then we'll go to Stuart.
Obviously, fans will offer great support on the day, but fans can also sort of transmit tension as well. Is it possible for players to block that out?
I think it's part of being a professional footballer. I think you have to use the feeling in a stadium to your advantage. And I think we've got a decent enough experience level of the ups and downs of football to understand that. But yeah, we want the players to focus on the game. Not as easy as it sounds, but that's the idea. Focus on what's going on the pitch. Don't worry about all the noise. Don't worry about all the rumours. Don't worry about anything that's going off the pitch. But like I say, it's easier said than done. But that's the clear intention: is to focus on what's going on the pitch and focus on our performance.
And obviously, your focus is on the game. But will someone be across what's happening elsewhere?
Well, I don't think there'll be too much worry about what's happening everywhere because of the noise around the stadium. I think that'll be quite apparent. But yeah, of course, there'll be people in the group and my staff who know what's going on.
And of course, there is a game to win. Bournemouth are safe.
And that's the focus. Yeah.
Terrific season. I mean, is it sometimes dangerous to play?
No, the focus should be on every game. Just asking about my consistent messages has been to the players. Every game's important. Every minute of every game's important. We showed that against Wolves. The mentality to take every breath of the game to the last whistle, and we did that. We might have to do that again. We should be doing that because that's what the intention is, and that's the consistency I talk about, is the mentality to play hard through every game and to go into every game to win. It's no different in that respect. Playing hard, playing to win. Excuse me.
Shemaine at the BBC.
Hi, Sean. After the Newcastle-Leicester game on Monday, there was an overriding feeling and talk that it was a good result for Leicester and all the pressure was in Everton. What do you think of that? Do you think there's a few mind games going on?
I'm not whether it is or not. The fact is that we should be under pressure because that's what we want for this group. At the end of the day, it's Everton Football Club. That's the demand of being at Everton Football Club. I've learned that very quickly. So every game should be a pressurised occasion. And it is, because that's being a professional footballer. It's not just about playing the last game of the season. That should be every time you run on a football pitch. So that's what the job in hand is. That's what I know about my career as a player, a coach, a manager. And that's what the players learn every week. There's a demand on every single performance.
And going to ask him, you'd rather be in this position than being behind chasing?
Yeah, definitely. We've worked hard to get in this position. the 2 points in front doesn't sound a lot, but it is at this stage of the season, as long as we capitalise on it. But all that noise aside, it still comes down to performing to win. That's been another consistent message to this team. We go into every game to win a game. It's not that easy, of course, we've seen that, but that's our mentality, is to go in to win the game.
James Tarkowski said in a recent interview, you've looked quite relaxed and calm around the place, even seen singing around the place.
No. Is that a clear sign of being relaxed and calm then, singing?
Looks like it.
I'm not going to start singing now, so don't worry.
Has that approach rubbed off on the players?
I don't know. I think I have a good measure of the task. I think I have a good measure of what it is to be a manager and a player. The feeling in the group, I hope, is consistent from myself and from the staff, from when I walked in the building. So that's all I try and bring us. Consistency is a key word for me, because I've played all my life. I've been in football all my life. Consistent, good sort of level behaviours, both on and off the pitch. I think it pays you back.
And then what happened Sunday? What happens next week? Is it a debrief with the players?
I'm not worried about that at the moment. Trust me, the game will be the focus.
Yeah. And is Amadou Onana fit for Sunday?
Yep.
And Townsend?
Well, he's coming through a very long injury. A lot to ask him. He's not had a game even, so he's fit and training with the group, but it's unlikely to be involved because he's got a lot of work to do.
Thanks very much. We'll go to Julia at Radio Merseyside.
Hey, Sean.
Hey.
Given it is in your hands, have you spoken this week about a fast start to the game, maybe getting an early goal, because the fans will be on their phones checking all the other results, and it just kind of takes the pressure off?
You can speak about them things all you want. It's not that easy. You're still playing a team that are out there trying to win a game. Bournemouth had a good season. They come up here ready to play, I'm sure. We've been more speaking about our values and what we stand for and what we want, how we want to approach the game. The ideas behind it, the feeling behind it, the energy to the group, and taking the task on. So, like I say, it's one of them things that we've been trying to drum into the players since we got here. We've seen good signs of it at times, and we've got to remember the good work that's been done, but then use it to our advantage when the whistle blows.
Given the number of injuries that you've got, we've seen players playing in different positions. Is that how you've had to train this week, maybe using players in positions that they don't know?
Yeah, of course. We've certainly had to adapt to the challenge. There has been a long injury list and ups and downs with it since I got here. So we definitely had to adapt to that, look at our options and look at what's available, and look at the best options to get what we want.
And the high stakes on this game, does this mean you're looking more to the senior players than using some young players maybe on your bench?
Well, I think the idea of senior players is more the experience, and I think it's unlikely, unless you really have to, you put a very young player into a situation like that. And we're not in a position quite where we have to, but it's fair to think that a couple of the young lads will be involved in the squad and have been all week training with the group.
And is Ben Godfrey fit at the moment?
Sorry?
Ben Godfrey?
No, he won't be fit. Sorry, he won't be fit.
No. Right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julia. Go to Carl.
Hi, Sean. You've spoken about wanting to be consistent sort of throughout your approach to everything, but is there a temptation this week to be almost overly positive considering what's at stake on Sunday?
No, I don't think positivity can win your football matches. I think performances win your football matches. So, inner confidence is a different thing, but I've always been confident with the group. I go into every game confident, so that doesn't change. And I think that the consistencies that I'm talking about within performance, mentality to perform, and clarity. So we'll be looking at that.
I just wonder in terms of, because of everything's built to this moment at the end of the season, players might be thinking about, is there any extra work to be done on the psychological front just to keep the mood, upbeat?
No, I think we do a lot of work. We've got a good staff here who work with the players appropriately all of the time. So, we'll be looking to do exactly the same things, and there'll be some key pointers about the team and the way we perform, of course, but no, we'll stick to the level of performance we expect from the players, and we expect it in training.
Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.
Any further questions in the open section before we move on?
If you can place reports suggesting otherwise this week, but trust you company you will be in next season.
Well, it's fair to say interesting reports, but I don't know where they come from. But at the end of the day, good businesses should be succession planning. I've got no problem with that, even if they were true. Because at the end of the day, businesses worldwide, who knows what's going to happen next? So everyone should be succession planning. So if that was the case, then that's the way it goes. But I'll certainly not be too worried about that.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the news page.
Cheers.